organizations like the English Club and Sigma Chi Delta can help unite students. I think especially within like the English major, really within any department, there are so many different people with different interests that sometimes, people will divide. Within the English department, we have the professional writing and editing kids, we have the creative writing kids, we have the education kids, then we have just the plain literary folk. And so there's a lot of division I've seen just within the English department, and I think student organizations are a great way to bring people together and to bridge differences and to remember that, hey, we actually do all like English. And you can help you coordinate, getting speakers to come to the university, or, letting students know sometimes if there's a speaker coming to the university, throwing ideas back and forth between students and faculty as to what changes are good to make within the department. And then it also is just a great way to, get people involved with real world stuff outside of the classroom that involves their major. Whether, as an English major, you could join English Club and then find out about something like literacy volunteering, or you can go to a school and read to children. You can do all kinds of things in the real world using your knowledge and your education to actually do something beyond, getting an A in the class or whatever. Because I think you learn more by doing actual things rather than just sitting in a classroom. That's why I think student organizations are really important. Well, students one-on-one definitely makes a lot of people feel more at ease. I know a lot of English majors, even though most of our classes are relatively small and they're focused around discussing literature openly, a lot of students never raise their hands in class just because they're intimidated. Whether it be they don't feel any sort of connection with their professors, sometimes people feel like their professors are off in their own sort of esoteric world where they're just entirely too intelligent and unapproachable and standoffish. And sometimes professors also give off the vibes that they don't really have time to help the students. So I think students interacting with other students, and for one thing, it helps you recognize that maybe you aren't the only one that's struggling in the class.
Right, I think it would be more of like a relaxed atmosphere. Say like a couple kids are just meeting up before class or wherever they're having their meetings. They can kind of express themselves without feeling like they're rubbing the teacher the wrong way.
And I think you can. I feel that I learn a lot outside of class just from interacting with students. I feel like I learn more outside of class than I do in class, and I learn a lot from just interacting with other students, whether it be just exchanging experiences or bouncing ideas back and forth off of each other. Yeah, I think it's always helpful to talk to other students in a one-on-one setting.
I think sometimes that when students go and talk to teachers, first off, walking in there to the office, it's a little awkward because they're like sitting at their desk, and they're working, and you want to like interrupt them, and so I think maybe just going to the teacher, just walking in the door might be the hardest part.
I think it's difficult for students to get used to the idea of going to professors during their office hours outside of class to seek help. Sometimes it's intimidating because the professor doesn't know your name. Sometimes it's a large class, and students, when they're just getting acclimated to the university environment, can feel overwhelmed, and sometimes it's difficult to go out and seek your own help. Sometimes people don't do it when they really need to. I think anytime you interact with other people and you're helping them, you can gain some sort of leadership experience. You can figure out what works when you're approaching people, when you're trying to help them, and what doesn't. Um, it helps you understand what, you begin to see consistencies in what problems people are having when you tutor people. If there's a consistent problem with a certain professor, or there's a consistent difficulty in learning something.
Being in a position of leader of an organization, you kind of have to have the responsibility to plan everything out and to actually go and help these kids that want to go to the teacher but feel intimidated. And so, being able to go to students at, say, like, any time on Monday, talk to a kid who's already been through the class that you're taking or whatever, having that responsibility of, actually going and having that time on Monday would definitely, I guess, help being in a leadership position.
You gain confidence with interacting with people. It just makes you more comfortable, and it makes you more able to succeed as a person if you have some sort of position that offers some sort of leadership or guidance to other people. It helps you helps you learn about people and succeeding in the real world. I think every department needs student leaders within them. I think sometimes departments departments structure things in awkward ways that aren't good for students. Like, the English department has that weird cap on the number of hours that you can take, and I think sometimes it's good to hear from a student perspective what works within the major and what doesn't. As well as if you have a student leader, it lets I think faculty and student interaction is really essential for academic success. And when you have a student leader, sometimes you can encourage other students to become involved with stuff that's going on in the department. You can collaborate ideas and come together that way. And I think students are able to see things from a perspective that professors and department chairs aren't really able to see. Maybe it's just the age difference or just the difference in position, but I think everybody has a legitimate viewpoint that's worth hearing, and having a student leader within the department is definitely helpful and essential, I think.